We embarked on our Goodwill Mission to Afghanistan with mixed feelings. With the blessings and good wishes of Mr. Ram Naik and Mr. Pramod Mahajan, senior ministers in the Indian government and patrons of the Mumbai-based Rambhau Mhalgi Prabodhini, we set off bound for Kabul. We were to explore the ways in which we could develop long-lasting institutional linkages between organizations working in key sectors. Could we be of any help, small or big, to our neighbors who have nestled along us for centuries? How best can we help them rebuild this war-ravaged and war-weary nation to get back on its feet? We set out with great anticipation, moved by the stories we had read and seen in the media about the ravages Afghanistan had been through. Our co-travellers, Afghan nationals, were perhaps equally apprehensive of what they were to find in the country they had fled. A country plundered in turn by foreign forces and warring groups, especially the Taliban, have left this country almost lifeless. The Taliban, a clique of fundamentalist zealots, had eliminated virtually all human rights within their reach. The stories had inundated our heads through the media, but the actual sights were even more chilling. This very central square served as the hangpost for the public hanging of the erstwhile deposed president, Dr. Najibullah. Ruins are a gauge of the splendor of an edifice. This palace was built in the reign of King Amanullah after he declared himself king in 1926 after the last and final battle with the British in 1919. This edifice was a pleasure and a privilege to behold. Darul Aman, the modern suburb laid out to augment Kabul's old city capital. The destruction we see has been caused by recurrent ethnic conflagration over the last 3 decades. The city never got a breather to recover. The toll, 30,000 casualties. The Taliban did the worst plundering of all at this museum. Indian artifacts from Afghanistan's many layered past have been smuggled to find their way out of the country to Western marketplaces of art. 250 trunk loads of rare arts and artifacts, precious, age-old, priceless documents have either vanished or been destroyed or looted during their regime. Now, all we have are the remnants of a small railway that ran on this path. A serious and concerted outcry came from other nations about the pillage of Bamiyan, 176 kilometers northwest of Kabul, an outcry which the Taliban refused to heed. Our journey to this legendary site raised more expectations than any other place in Afghanistan. The killing machines of the Taliban and the Al-Qaeda had been located here. It was the evil design of these mercenaries that had rendered 40 lakh homeless, left 20 lakh widows, and created a burgeoning population of aimless and disgruntled jobless youth. Were these ghost towns? Were the loved ones awaiting a decent burial? Was this the enchanted place of our dreams? This valley of 1.5 kilometers of soft stone cliff is honeycombed with caves full of Buddhist paintings and sculptures dating from the 2nd to the 5th century AD. These are the only reminders of the two gigantic standing figures of the Buddha recessed into the cliff sometime between the 2nd and the 5th centuries. It is believed that 1,500 kilograms of gunfire and dynamite were needed to blow to smithereens this 55-meter-high statue, purportedly the biggest standing Buddha in the world. Even then, people lived in caves, and even today they continue to live just there. Has this been the trudge of civilization?
کارگر نه دیگه نه انت وایران ماندیم ما میار کی ما کار کنه میار کی جور کنه طالبا ما رو گرفت در بازار کار سر کرد یک بابی پیر یک کارگر ندارم نه تو بابی پیر دارم من چطور کنم یعنی تو قرآن رو در داد خانه تو قرآن رو در داد یعنی من قرآن خدایی ما در داد دیگه چطور کنم من چیز نمونده ما میگیر در داد این تو وایران بیرون یعنی قرآن در داد خب این طالبا از دیست طالبا رو میتاشیدیم وایران بیرونش دم یعنی قرآن خدای نتر داد این خانه چیز نمونده میگی ما رو در داد ما از خانه نمیتونیم روی
This was what once used to be the celebrated Bamiyan University. This also served as the Taliban headquarters. Singular works of scholarly learning and archival significance were the victims of the single-minded destruction.
The Bamiyan or Hazarajat Valley, they were like wild animals. They everywhere that they saw the men are also vermin, all the person they started killing them, general massacre. So we are afraid of them, so we scared. So we escaped from here to the Yakalang and then we got Punjab, and then after that time we took Kabul.
What once used to be the memorial tomb of the visionary thinker of the 19th century, Jamaluddin Afghani, lay in the premises of the Kabul University.
Kabul University has been damaged in two ways, materially and mentally. On materialistic point, the building have been destroyed, laboratory equipment, facilities, these things have been gone. But On the other hand, we lost our experts and trained people. The people who has gotten their PhDs and MS degree or MA degrees from European countries, from India, from East and West. We had very well staff member in Kabul University, but unfortunately we have lost them.
Now our future is dark because there is nothing for us. Just we are studying, but laboratory is dismissed. It's finished. Now nothing is here for us we practice. Practically there is nothing for us. Just studying from a book.
But the ravages inflicted by the Taliban deserve a special mention for their atrocious degree of mutilation. Ideologies and isms found space on the book racks depending on what the rulers believed in. 2 lakh books were systematically destroyed in this mindless ferocity. Not just human beings, even rare books were riddled with bullets.
فعلا در افغانستان شما اگه برین سروی کنین ما در تمام افغانستان 10% مکتب آباد نداریم. مکتباش مثل چوکی داشته باشه، کتاب قلم داشته باشه، یونیفرم داشته باشه. حالا هم شاگردای ما به سوی صنف 12 دخترها و بچه‌ها در روی زمین میشینن. آیا در روی زمین شیشتن و مشکلاتشان حل نشدن یک مکتب باید لابراتوار داشته باشن، شاگردها اساسی درس بخونن. آیا میتونیم ما بگوییم که ما مشکل مردم حل کردیم؟ هنوز بسیار مشکلات ما پیش روی داریم.
But for education to take root, their deep-seated fear and memories of a wicked past need to be wiped away.
تجربه پیدا کردیم سعی پرسان میکرد اول که کسی ساز و سرود مثلا تلاشی میکرد مثلا اذیت میکرد تو از کجا هستی تو از آره هستی مثلا اینتر هستی اوتر هستی چی میکرد اگر پشتو رو یاد میداشی هیچ گپ نبود از اینجا مزار میرفتی قندار میرفتی پشتو اگر پشتو رو یاد نمیداشی تدید.
All of the people, especially farmer worker, they killed when I was in Yakaulang district. Taliban captured the Yakaulang district. They killed about 300 to 500 person. 3 person of the hospital of Bamyan were killed, were martyred by the Taliban military.
Crime, civil war, famine, invasion and tyranny have been trampling back and forth across the weary soil of this miserable nation for so long that the prospects of its recovery seem distant at the best. Telltale signs of destruction, devastation and armed military presence are as menacing as they are striking. However, this international army has come here to establish normalcy and restore peace and harmony. There are still instances of occasional clashes between ethnic groups. The Halo Trust that has been entrusted with the job of clearing the mines here estimates this count to be 640,000 laid around the cities. The weave of landmines laid out beneath its soil is a death trap for its own people. Undetected explosives are like a hanging sword waiting to axe innocent people, earning Afghanistan the dubious title of the most thickly mine-laid country in the world. Mines have already subjected some of them to the life of a living corpse. And the highest casualties, it claims, is Afghans' most precious asset of the future, children and livestock.
دکتر جینکولوژیست نسای ولادی روزانه در حدود 60-70 تنها خانوما را ما معاینه میکنیم بخش زنانه رو پیش میبریم که در روزانه در حدود 60-70 مریض میبینیم.
India's blood ties have extended to Afghanistan through the establishment of the Indira Gandhi Hospital in Kabul during the 70s. This too is grossly understaffed, unable to cope with the burgeoning, suffering populace of the city. Child mortality is most depressing. Today, every fourth child born here dies. Every year, as many as 16,000 women die while giving birth. 70% of the population is malnourished.
باید 3 شبانه روز رو در باولاق راه ببرن که اکثر مریضا در جریان انتقال میمیرن، هیچ در شفاخانه نمیرسن. اونجا مردم که مریضش سخت‌تر شد، کمی مریضی شدیدتر شد، دیگه آمادگی دفن نمیگیرن، دیگه همه مردم مایوسن.
40 lakh migrants are reaching a homeland but have no home. They fled their homes without carrying anything away, and now there is nothing left to come back to. Relief camps are offering help to strengthen their hopes of restructuring their lives. However, this help is meager. But it is going to need a much greater inner resilience of human spirit to hold on to the hope of a better tomorrow.
हमने तो सुना कि हमारा मुल्क सही हो गया है, हालात सही हैं सब। अब सुना तो यही है।
अब कराची में कब गए थे?
97 में गया था।
क्यों गए थे?
बस हालात की लड़ाइयों की वजह से गए थे हम।
कहाँ से गए थे?
हम बगलान से ही गए थे। कराची की तो हालात हर की जो काम करता है कोई उनके लिए अच्छा है, जिनके काम नहीं उसके लिए अच्छा नहीं है। बस गुर्बत की गुजारा है, इसलिए तो हम यहाँ आए। हमने सोचा चलो जो भी अपने मुल्क में होगा बेहतर होगा।
It is a major challenge for the new government.
ماگم نکرده ما نه ملک نه جای نه زندگی داریم.
اینجا مسجد بود که مردم مراسم مذهبیش اینجا چیز میکرد، اجرا میکرد و وقتی که طالبان آمد ایرا در دادن به خاطر که مانی از چیزی مذاهب شد. بامیان بودیم تا زمانی که اینجا طالبان آمد ما از اینجا فرار کردیم از کوه بابا طرف بیسود. از بیسود رفتیم کابل.
طالبان یعنی در جای مردم میامد مردم میبرد میکشت. از خانه بور میکرد میبرد میکشت. ما دیگه کوسار رفتیم دیگه گوشنه تشنه نه خرد نه خوراک.
شاید ما در مکتب میخوندم دوره های مغاره نشینی را برای تعجب آور بود، ولی فعلا در بامیان میبینیم که مردم در مغاره ها زندگی میکنن. از این ما میتونیم وضعیت این مردم رو کاملا تحلیل بکنیم که اینا در چی وضعیت هستند، در چی کمک های نیاز دارن.
The process of reconstruction has been set into motion by the huge effort of international NGOs. Walls and ceilings are not mandatory to start a school. The most distinguished traditional handicraft industry of Afghanistan, carpet weaving, has been reinstated here for the benefit of war widows and their children. Almost 800 women find life sustenance through this activity started by a local NGO.
So it was on this basis and
we met the Indian ambassador, Vivek Kaju, the Afghan ministers of the interim government and United Nations officials to assess the present situation and also to corroborate our findings during this mission.
I don't know what it is, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 critical positions they need to fill, which could really provide significant difference in terms of policy development, capacity development and so on. And then to see if the UN and with partners could actually fill those critical areas. It could be technology development, it could be IT, it could be integrated water management. One of the critical areas where this government or other agencies need help right now to make a difference.
This land of abundant natural resources lacks the technology and the know-how to sustain its ecosystem. Despite a huge repository of water, Afghanistan suffered drought for 3 consecutive years since 1998. Harnessing its water resources is one of the thrust areas of some NGOs. Akbar anticipates substantial help from Indian NGOs in the areas of education, women's upliftment, health, water and sanitation. The agency coordinating body for Afghan relief, Akbar, which coordinates the inputs of various NGOs working for the national reconstruction, has set an agenda that focuses on the capacity building of all these NGOs on high priority. Public communication that was completely silenced during the Taliban regime is beginning to find its voice all over again. Women who were wiped out from public participation in the Taliban world have found their lost identity in these nascent professions. Their role and importance has increased noticeably.
برنامه ثبت میکنیم در خانه بودیم دیگه طبعا همه زنها در خانه بودیم.
The dawn of a new Afghanistan is going to be defined by people's participation, driven by their own will and grit.
This was my idea. To don't leave Kabul because this is my country, my father and my grandfather.
Yes, our country is like my mother.
Yeah.
Like our mother.
بله در سابق هم این مشکلات حل ساخته و حالی هم خاطر ساخت و گذشته از اینکه یک عنعنه ملی ماست در اسلام هم جا داره و در سابق هم بوده هم شورا به نام شورای حل و عقد و دیگرها.
तालिबान जो था वो एक अजनबी लोगों का एक ग्रुप था, अजनबी लोगों का, तो वो अफगानी कल्चर ये सब भूल करके इधर वापस वतन में हमारे आ चुका था। लेकिन यहाँ से वो जो पढ़ा लिखा लोग था वो मुल्क से बाहर था, इसलिए उन लोगों का रास्ता खुला था। लेकिन अब जो नया दौर आ गया है, ये पढ़ा लिखा लोग जो है ना वो वापस वतन आते हैं, तो इसके बाद उन लोगों के सवाल ही पैदा नहीं हुआ था कि वो वापस दोबारा इस वतन में आ सकते हैं।
हम चाहते हैं कि ये तो हम वलायत के लिए, प्रोविंस के लिए ये हम मैनेजमेंट उधर खोल करके हम लोगों के लिए खिदमत करेंगे, क्योंकि तालिबान के दौरान में सब ये जो औरतें था वो लोगों में घर में बंद कर दिया और सब एजुकेशन सब चीज़ें बंद। हम चाहते हैं कि वुमेन के लिए हम खिदमत करेंगे।
The past 30 years have seen the country transit through tumultuous cultural and social change. Often, the change has been more regressive than progressive. And this regression has held the country in an indefinite time warp. The footpaths of Kabul serve as banks, where the exchange rate of a US dollar can vary between 30,000 to 38,000 Afghani rupees. Although commerce and other lifelines are yet to find a breath of fresh air, the signs of change are sure and certain. Indian ties with the Afghans are centuries old. Adjacent to the Asmai Dargah lies the temple of Asmai Devi. That these cultural links that conjoin the two countries have survived the icon slaughter unleashed by the Taliban. A well-preserved white marble statue of Ganesha is located at the Pir Ratannath Dargah in Kabul.
India, as a friendly country to Afghanistan, can play a major role in the reconstruction of Afghanistan and the new phase in the new opportunity which has been created for the people of Afghanistan and which the country is going towards stability and peace, lasting peace, and formation of a representative government.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इस युद्ध का सबसे ज़्यादा असर महिला और बच्चों की ज़िंदगी के ऊपर पड़ा है, क्योंकि महिलाओं ने अपने पति खो दिए हैं, पुत्र खो दिए हैं और आज उनकी स्थिति ऐसी नहीं है कि वो खुद कमा के खा सके। दूसरी बात ये है कि वो आज जिस ट्रॉमा के अंदर है, क्योंकि उनकी मानसिकता के ऊपर जो युद्ध का असर पड़ा है, उससे बाहर निकालने के लिए कुछ इस तरीके के प्रोग्राम्स और इस तरह के काउंसलिंग वगैरह करने की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है।
Ghazi Stadium, a place which once saw cheering crowds in thousands, was turned into a torture ground by the Taliban. This goalpost hole witnessed innumerable victims losing their sanity and finally succumbing to Taliban atrocities. However, it was a pleasant surprise to see a football match ready to get going and a crowd assembled to watch the game. And yet, looking back, one feels that touch of fear. Will this country be able to restore its past glory? Will its people ever see the joyful days of that distant past? Let's hope and pray they will.